Hi, I am Rachel Meliotis, a senior editor at O'Reilly Media, and I am at Velocity 2013 in New York City. I'm here with Mark Imbriaco, an ops engineer at GitHub. Thanks for joining me.
My pleasure.
So, as you know, DevOps kind of a big deal.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about ChatOps and how that serves GitHub operationally?
Sure. Yeah, so ChatOps is what we call the way that we use a chat room basically to operate all of GitHub. And we use it in a lot of ways. We use it in the operations team to run the site by doing things like, failing over services or looking at graphs or collaborating on things around the site. But we also use it socially because we're a very distributed company. We have over 200 employees and we're in over 100 cities. So we're very distributed. And the way that we stay connected with one another is through chat. So it kind of has a life of its own at this point. In terms of operations, we use it for everything from, like I said, failing over services, responding to DDoS attacks, looking at graphs. It's really a great tool for us to allow us to collaborate on responding to incidents instead of having one person off in a terminal session typing away madly and telling people once in a while what he did.
It makes a lot of sense, and
Yeah.
I actually use chat a lot myself in my
Excellent.
own work. So I know in the last 20 years, you're a veteran, that you've worked with a bunch of great companies. Can you talk a little bit about sort of some of the widespread issues you've seen concerning ops?
Yeah, I think I think there's probably two major issues. There's a lot of issues, but two of the big ones that bother me are shared priorities. So and the other one is communication and collaboration in ops teams. So ops teams tend to have lone wolf syndrome pretty bad. Okay. And they tend to have kind of people working on an island by themselves and not a whole lot of collaboration. That's why I'm so excited about ChatOps, because it allows us to collaborate. Everyone sees what everyone else is doing. During an incident, it's fantastic when someone pulls up a graph, and it may not actually be the answer to the problem that you're looking for, but it makes you think about a different angle on the problem. Sure. And you see some person tries this and somebody else is like, ooh, I have an idea, and they try something different, and you just very quickly get to an idea collectively.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think communication is something that's difficult across a lot of areas.
It is, and I've spent the last decade plus working remotely at every job I've had, so it's even harder then. You have to be more deliberate.
Definitely. So what about GitHub? Can you tell me some of the challenges that have been faced there and sort of some solutions that have happened?
Yeah, I think it's really more of the same, right? We have one of our big challenges that I think ChatOps really helps with is onboarding and bringing new people onto the team. We've grown in the last year. I think when I joined the company, there were maybe 4 people on the ops team when I joined, and now we're a dozen or 15 people.
Oh, wow.
And we're growing fast. And one of the things that ChatOps really helps with is when new people come in, they can very quickly kind of see the flow of how things work. They can see how we operate the infrastructure. They don't have to rely on documentation that's not going to be in date. That's going to be, documentation is always out of date. Nobody ever updates the docs.
Yes.
So I think that's one area where it's really helpful.
I think there's a piece of transparency there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's not just for the ops team themselves. It's great when we're working on an incident and someone else on the team, maybe someone from the marketing side or the PR side or developer jumps into our room, and they can see that we're working on an incident, and they know without being told that there's a problem.
Yeah, no, I think that's really great. So you've been in operations for a while.
Right.
So as we said, DevOps, big deal. Where do you see DevOps sort of evolving in the next few years?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that DevOps is a poorly specified term right now.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah, and I don't really, I don't know where it's going to go. I think that we'll see a lot more distributed teams. I think that we'll see a lot more people look at things like ChatOps as an idea. And I think we'll just see a lot more people trying to embrace collaboration in operations. And not just the sort of DevOps breaking down the cultural walls between Dev and Ops, but even within the Ops team, I think we need to see a lot closer collaboration within those teams.
I hope that you're right. I think that would be great. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.